When is a time that somebody has confirmed an insecurity of yours? I'm going to give you an example of a time that this happened to me. And I always remember this, unfortunately. That's how the mind works. Anyways, so I had this guy that I liked. We were sort of a bit of a thing, but like it wasn't serious. And I remember we were at my friend's house and we were sitting on a couch together, and he was like filming a Snapchat video of me. And in the video, I turned my head to go look at something, and I turned back. And like the video was still cute. Like it was like cute. We were like sitting together, right? And he wanted to post the video. And I was like, oh, my nose. Like, you know, just made a little comment about like, you know, seeing my nose in the video, thinking that he'd be like, oh, I don't care. This motherfucker spends the next 5 minutes stretching out an emoji and focusing it on my nose. So when I turn my head, the emoji covers my nose. And when I come back, it disappears. And he posted that on his story. I still have the video if you guys ever want to see it, but that happened and I was just like, what? Anyways, it's alright. I don't know why you guys want the video so bad. It literally, I don't have the one with the emoji, like, but I'll show you anyway. I cropped him out of it. That's literally it. And the emoji was over my nose, like, and I can see why my fucking nose looks disgusting, but anyways, that's the video. There you go. These right here.
Every time I try to wear something that's sleeveless or strapless, people will look at my arms and be like, what's that? And I'm like, oh, my excessive arm stretch marks. Thought about tattooing over them, but I don't even want tattoos. So I every now and then will get a surge of confidence and I'll just wear what I want to wear. Most of the time I won't, because someone's always looking at my arms saying, oh my god, what is it?
I just woke up, but I had to do this one. So growing up, I've always had problem with my acne, but like when I'm like, oh, does it look bad? Like my friends, family are like, oh no, it doesn't look that bad. Like, oh, lies. So it was at work, and it was my first day without having to wear a mask, and the mask, oh my god, the mask has just made my acne so much worse. And maybe like the third customer comes to the window and she's like, oh my god, what's breaking out your skin? And I wanted to cry. Okay, I didn't want to cry, but I was just like blown away at how bold this person was. And she was like, I was just like, oh, like the mask and stuff. And so she just like laughed it off and stuff, but I can't help it! I'm trying, okay?
When a little boy came up to me and asked me if I was wearing a fat suit. I'm never having kids. So I was in maths, just doing my equations, minding my own business, and then the guy in front of me turned around and straight up just asked me why I was so flat.
So I've always felt like the duff of the friend group, the designated ugly fat friend. You know, like the friend you go up to when you have a crush on the other friends of the friend group. All your girlfriends call you pretty, but no guy has ever called you pretty. You're friends with a bunch of guys, but like no guy has a crush on you. That friend. So one day we were talking about like Spirit Week, and one of my friends that I'm not really close with anymore, she suggested like a Mean Girls group costume. She goes, I can be Regina, you can be Karen, and you can be Gretchen. And she was like talking to my other friends. Then she turns to me and she goes, Deja, you can be the bus that hits Regina. Not Katie, not Janice, not even Damien. The fucking bus. And I know she's gonna know who I'm talking about when I post this. So like, girl, no hard feelings. But yeah.
Okay, so I started wearing makeup in like middle school. Like just like, you know, blush, concealing these bad boys, right? And one day I didn't wear it. And a teacher after class pulled me aside and said, Rebecca, you really look like you're not feeling great. You want to go to the nurse or something? I knew I looked like a sickly Victorian child, but you did not need to point that out.
Yeah, definitely that one time in year 9 when me and my friend were fucking around in art class and he pushed me away and his hands landed on my boobs, which were pretty much non-existent at the time, and I was super insecure about it. And then I told him, I acknowledged the fact, oh my god, he just pushed my boobs, because we were friends. And he's like, oh, if I pushed your boobs, I would have felt it.
So ever since the dawn of time, I've been insecure about my shoulders, because they're bigger than usual, you know. Nothing wrong with them, but I'm insecure about them. But it was one of those things where I was like, is it in my head, or can people actually see that I've got broad shoulders? Well, I was seeing this boy when I was like 17, I think it was, and I went around his mum and dad's house for the first time, to meet them for the first time, and I was telling her how I used to swim for the locals team, because I did that. She was like, yeah, I can tell you've got swimmer's shoulders. I was like, oh. Honestly convinced me that I like this. There's nothing wrong with that, but I fucking don't, do I? Like, I don't. Come on. She was chatting shit.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Oh my god, when I saw this video, I literally relived this moment in my head. When I was like 16, I was babysitting this girl. She was like maybe 8 or 9, and you know, kids speak the truth. Like, they don't have a filter, so you know what they're saying is true. She looks at me, like, I'm sitting on the couch with her, and she looks at me and she goes, what happened to your nose? I was like, sorry? She goes, like, what's with the bump on your nose? So if you see, I have like a bump. And I was like, oh, it's just the way my nose is. She's like, oh, it looks weird. I went home that night and literally looked up how much nose jobs cost. So
a while back, me and my friend were getting ready to go somewhere. I'm not gonna name any names. If you're watching, you know who you are at the end of middle school. But we were getting ready to go somewhere, and I asked her to tighten my bra strap for me. And I didn't have a shirt on, it was just me and my bra. And this bitch goes, oh, I didn't know you had back acne. Excuse me?
In 6th grade, I was sitting next to my friend in class, and we were all reading our books, and I was sitting back in my chair like this, and I was reading, and she said, Tyra, your neck is fat. And then she compared it for like 2 minutes to our overweight teacher who had a double chin.
So growing up, it was like 3 different neighborhoods, right? It was like the ghetto, the regular little townhouses and shit, and then the big ass houses. I had lived in the townhouses, but all my friends had lived in the big ass houses next to me. So tell me when my birthday rolls around and I want to have a sleepover. So I put my address on the fucking cards. Duh. Tell me why they take my address, go on Google Maps, look at my house, zoom the fuck in, and start making fucking jokes like my friends. These bitches was like, why is your house so small? And I was in the Doctor Who back then, so I was like, oh, it's like a TARDIS, you know, small on the outside, big on the inside. Nobody wanted to fucking come. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm not having it no more. And I thought I was insecure about where I lived before. So when these bitches started making jokes, I was like, hell no, no one's ever coming over to my house again. And like, I still feel that way. Like, I can't shake that shit.
So when I was younger, I had this really big like mole skin tag thing on the back of my head. You could never really see it unless I had gotten a haircut. But when I did get a haircut, some kids would make fun of it. To the point that I used to beg my daddy to stop cutting my hair, but he wouldn't. And y'all know how like when you're in elementary school, the teacher will get y'all in a single file line to go wherever y'all are gonna go. I would make sure that I was at the back of the line because I did not want to be in front of anybody so that they would not, you know, make fun of it. I was still being forced to get my hair cut in high school, and so I was telling one of my best friends about my insecurity, and not only did she like get behind me and like look at this mole, like she started making fun of it hard and telling all types of jokes and then describing what it looked like in detail. I hated having it there so much that in 2019 I paid to have it surgically removed, and I think it was like $700 or $800. And she and I are no longer friends, not because of that though, but she ended up becoming like one of those pyramid schemers.